So there'll be some big names in this exhibition, Anne, that a lot of people will recognise, and then there's some names that are lesser known. Can you say a bit about some of the choices you made in this exhibition?
Yes, certainly. Some of the artists were given, like Patrick Heron, or the Bert Irving, or Gillian Ayres, and some were not by any means household names, including Brian Fielding, some that I actually did know as an artist who sadly died rather young and hasn't really had much exposure. So there have been surprises, but what again is interesting, and we must recall too, is that one of my criteria when we first discussed my working on the exhibition was to very much have a connection and a reference to your own Burton Gallery collection. So the criteria in a way were those artists who are represented in the collection whose work fell easily and totally appropriately into the exhibition, like Trevor Bell. Those artists whose work is included in the exhibition and in your collection, but whose work in the collection did not fit the thesis of the Expressive Mark, the gesture abstraction. And two of the artists who fill that at the moment is the very fine Patrick Heron, Camellia Gardens. The Burton has a lovely Patrick Heron, but it's much more of a flat wash composition. And Brian Fielding, as I say, the artist that I've known, an artist who was born in Sheffield and who went to Sheffield School of Art and then down to London, to Royal College, and who was a contemporary of John Hoyland, but where John rather got ahead in the game, as it were, Brian didn't. But there is a Brian Fielding work in the Burton collection, totally and utterly different from the large abstract mark-making canvas here, which is a kitchen sink work, which of course was the kitchen sink school of artists like John Bratby in the 1950s. And several of the artists who were related to that movement were Sheffield. Hoyland was producing works about of his the terrace houses in Sheffield at the time, and Brian's picture of a fellow art student, a woman, is a fine but completely different, a rather downbeat portrait, which you've got showing in the collection, but it's wonderful to introduce Brian's work to a new audience in a completely different genre.